Scrolling YouTube the other day when a thumbnail stopped me dead. Why rich retirees go broke. It immediately caught my attention because I know plenty of people who think their nest egg is safe, but subtle mistakes can quietly destroy decades of savings. Right after seeing it, I had a call with a couple planning to retire with just under $500,000. They had done everything right on paper, or at least they thought they had. But in the first few minutes, I realized a few hidden risks were completely missing from their plan. And then I asked a question that usually surprises most people, even those who are very careful. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 critical mistakes that can wipe out a nest egg, and you'll see why spotting them early is far easier than fixing them later. Let me walk you through a real example that perfectly illustrates the risks most retirees don't see coming. I spoke with a couple in their early 60s who had about $450,000 saved across their retirement accounts, plus Social Security benefits they expected to rely on. On paper, everything looked solid. They had budgets, some investments, and thought they were ready. But as we talked, I started asking questions that revealed gaps in their plan. These weren't wild, unpredictable events. They were simple, overlooked details that could quietly derail their retirement. I could see the surprise in their faces when I mentioned a few of these risks. And that's when I realized most moderate-income retirees are flying blind in the exact same way. By walking through these 3 critical areas, you'll see how even careful planning can leave people vulnerable if key details are ignored. Question 1. Long-term care. The first question I always ask is about long-term care because it's one of the most overlooked risks for moderate-income retirees. Most people assume Medicare or their savings will cover everything, but the reality is that long-term care, whether in-home help or a nursing facility, can quickly drain tens of thousands of dollars each year. In my example, the couple hadn't factored in even a year of potential care, and that gap alone cut their projected retirement success in half. Planning ahead doesn't have to mean buying expensive insurance immediately, but it does mean modeling realistic costs so you aren't blindsided. Ignoring this is like building a house without a roof. The foundation may be solid, but one storm can cause major damage. Even modest planning steps, like knowing national averages or setting aside a dedicated fund, can protect your nest egg and provide peace of mind. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful moves you can make before retirement. Question 2. Cognitive decline. The second critical question is something most retirees don't want to face. How will you protect your money as your decision-making abilities naturally decline with age? Studies show that while our confidence often remains high, financial judgment slowly deteriorates after our 50s and 60s. That means even savvy investors can make costly mistakes without realizing it. Scammers and predatory schemes exploit this decline, targeting older adults who may feel certain about their decisions but are actually more vulnerable. In my conversations with clients, many have no system in place, no trusted family member, financial advisor, or legal safeguard to step in if needed. Ignoring this risk can quietly erode savings, sometimes more dramatically than market losses. Planning for cognitive decline isn't about pessimism, it's about creating a safety net that protects both your money and your independence. Question 3. Actual spending. The third question is deceptively simple, but often the most dangerous. How much do you actually spend each month? Many retirees have a clear idea of what they think they spend, but the reality is often higher once all expenses are counted. Healthcare, insurance, home repairs, and everyday living costs. Even a small underestimation can dramatically reduce the longevity of a nest egg. In one example, a couple who thought they could safely withdraw $8,000 a month actually needed $10,000, and that adjustment cut their probability of success from over 80% to just 33%. Retirement isn't about the amount in your account, it's a math problem of income versus spending. Knowing your exact numbers gives you control and prevents hidden risks from quietly eroding your future security. Looking at these three questions together makes one thing clear. Even a carefully built retirement plan can fail if small but critical risks are ignored. Long-term care, cognitive decline, and actual spending may seem separate, but they interact in ways that quietly erode savings over time. A plan that looks solid on paper can collapse if any of these factors are overlooked, and most retirees only discover the problem after it's too late. The good news is awareness is the first step. By addressing each risk early, modeling realistic costs, creating safeguards for decision-making, and tracking spending accurately, you can dramatically increase your chances of a secure, worry-free retirement. These aren't complex strategies, they're practical, actionable steps that make a real difference. If you want to take control of your retirement and see exactly how these three risks could impact your nest egg, I've put together a simple tool you can use to stress test your numbers. It's free for 90 days and lets you model long-term care costs, cognitive safeguards, and monthly spending in a realistic way. You can also see the probability of your plan's success under different scenarios, helping you make informed decisions before it's too late. If you'd like personal guidance, you can schedule a consultation to walk through your plan with a certified financial planner who understands moderate-income retirements. Taking these steps now doesn't just protect your money, it protects your peace of mind and your family's future. Don't wait until hidden risks quietly erode your nest egg. Start planning today.